are live.
This has been quite a day.
Finally.
I didn't mean to be as part of this channel, but hold on.
Yeah,
Let
Debbie,
me
I thought you
see.
were going to disappear.
So I have to figure out now, for anybody that's listening, I have to figure out how to share the link to my stream now.
Okay. Bear with us, folks. A lot of technical
Anybody.
A lot. We are, what are we, 10 minutes late right now going on the air? But Debbie, my wonderful manager, is trying to figure out why YouTube and Restream has been so uncooperative with us. I was all psyched up and ready to go live and start talking to you. How's it looking, Debbie? My accidental co-host.
Yeah. So, isn't this special?
So, yes, this is extra special, isn't it? I don't know if anybody's watching us right now. We have abandoned ship.
I don't know if anybody's watching. It looks like Zero's watching because I haven't sent anybody a link.
Zero right now, but we are being recorded and people are going to watch this later, and we're going to do our best to keep this from being a fiasco. Or maybe that's not bad. Maybe it'll be funny if it's a fiasco. We'll give something to
I think I like it. I think I like it better the other way. If I'm going to be on at all, I was not at all prepared.
No, you weren't. No makeup, no hair.
So let me see. Let me go back to my channel now. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, switch over to my. That's not what I wanted to do. Well, that would be on your settings.
On my settings. Okay, do you know which setting, or should I just leave well enough alone? I feel
well, it'd be under your camera.
I'm under my camera, but I don't want to. Let's see what happens here when I hit this button here.
Or the settings, probably, actually.
Settings, that doesn't do a thing. Well, this is going. Well, it didn't do anything, and I'm not going to try to move it any further.
So here we go.
What I did not want to happen on my first show.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good, and it's it gives people a good laugh, and I guess it helps me to loosen up a bit because I have been wigging out. Big surprise for the last half an hour or so. I was just saying to Debbie, she has a number of clients, and I said, I guess I'm just as temperamental and difficult as anybody she has to work with right now. But I'm okay now. I'm prepared to have some fun. Debbie, what do you think we should do? Should we just do the show?
Well, I just sent out link. Let's see if anybody joins us.
If anybody joins us. If not, we will be one hand clapping. I'm waiting to see if any messages are there, if anybody's going to join us. I don't know. If I had a piano here, I'd start tap dancing or something, sing a little song.
Yeah, I don't know where the chat bar is on this, so that's interesting. Chat. Okay, open chat. All right, let me see if anybody is in. I just sent out the link.
Start over.
We got 2 people watching.
We have 2 people watching. Well, hello. I can't see you, but I'm glad we have 2 people out there. I'm grateful to you for joining.
Hey, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
The Chuck
my God.
and Debbie show.
The Chuck and Debbie show. Hey, we just may have stumbled onto something inadvertent here. Maybe we're going to find that you and I have witty repartee and banter.
Yeah.
This may be a new show. We didn't even know we were going to do it.
I wonder, I'm going to try because we're still, this is just basically practicing.
Yeah, this
so
is
let me see. We're just practicing.
It wasn't supposed to be a practice. I was supposed to be all polished and ready to go and start talking. But 2 people out there, you're witnessing growing pains. You're witnessing our mistakes as we make them live on the air, and it's being recorded for all of posterity.
Relevant. I gotta laugh.
Yeah, we gotta laugh. Gotta laugh. Posterity, I think a posterior. Oh, let's see. Mystical Insights. Hi, Chuck and Debbie. Hand pink waving.
Well, that would be Joyce. Say hi, Joyce.
Well, thank you, Joyce, for joining us. And then my second one here says messages from audience will display here. I thought that doesn't sound like a comment, does it?
We got 2 people waiting. I just pasted a link in Oracle thing.
Yeah.
Let me paste it on. Let me see if I go to our Joyce. We're doing our level best.
Yeah, we are.
To get a live show going. Okay, I see us on Wednesday's. So we're on Wednesday's channel too. So that's good. That's always interesting.
Wouldn't you say just about everything that could go wrong? Gone wrong.
Right. No, it's not. No, don't go there. Don't go there.
I'm saying that because I'm laughing at it. Because let's face it, this is where comedy.
Gotta laugh. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta laugh about it, and I hope people are going to see the
link just went out to 200 people. Hopefully, somebody on the Whimsy channel will want to join us.
Are they going to go?
Let's see. Looks like people are starting to see the link. That's good.
That's good. They're seeing the link.
So Joyce, you're the only one that's chatting right now.
Yeah, you're the only one, Joyce. Give me a topic. Give me something to talk about here. I had all this stuff that I wanted to do, but I was going to save that for my opening. I was going to be all polished and professional, and now everybody's seeing me for what? Seeing me with my pants down?
Home on the range, deer and the antelope play.
Okay. I don't even know if Joyce is still there or not. I just saw hi Chuck and Debbie Handpink waving, but if she, what was that? Who was that? Give me a topic. Oh wait, that was that. That
all right,
Linda
let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it now. Okay, countdown.
Okay.
From 5 to 1.
5.
Just do your show, and we'll trim this.
2, 1. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Chuck's Captivating Chat. We finally decided that was going to be the name of the show. You know something? There's this popular saying, do one thing a day that scares the hell out of you. Guess what? I'm doing it right now. I'm on live for the first time, solo, doing my own show. And I'm going to admit it, it scares the hell out of me. It also exhilarates me. You know, there's this strange thing about me. Maybe it's because I have stage training. I've done it. It's been a long time, but I've been on the stage here in Los Angeles. And as any actor knows, come 8 o'clock, the lights come up, the curtain opens. You check yourself backstage. You leave your problems behind. You focus on what you're doing. I tend to be like that when I do the wonderful Dr. Whimsy Anderson's show on Tuesday, Taco Tuesdays. No matter what chaos is going on behind the scenes, there's this little thing that appears. We literally have that little thing on the screen. 3, 2, 1, live. Hi. I'm Chuck. I go into my body. I suddenly get calm. I don't entirely understand that, other than maybe it is just those years of stage training. But I am where I love to be. This is something I just started 3 months ago through my dear, dear friend, Dr. Whimsy Anderson, when she finally got me to co-host the show with her, Taco Tuesdays. And Whimsy has always been my angel. She always takes me out of my comfort zones. She always does this. She shows me, look, I always had the power to do it. She teaches me that I'm a lot stronger than I am. She teaches me that I have talents that I'm not aware of. Well, I've been doing this for 3 months now, and I just love it. And I have a wonderful manager named Debbie Brady. She kicks my butt all the time, but I ask her to do that, and I love her for it. And she's the one who persuaded me to do a live show today. Also, if you watch my channel, I do a lot of the man in the street pieces. You know, I go to locations here in Los Angeles because if anybody knows this about me, you know that I love old Hollywood history. Well, the city is just filled with fabulous locations, places I can go to and tell stories, and have the background behind me. Or I can do reporting on the current day entertainment, such as what I've been doing about the SAG after strike. I've put a number of pieces on there. I have many actor friends, so I hear a lot of opinions. I hear firsthand accounts of what's going on. So I feel that does give me a chance to give an interesting perspective. So doing a show like this, when I found out a week ago I was going to do this, I started to think, well, what do I want to do? And I thought, well, it'd be great maybe at the beginning of the show to comment on maybe a couple of current day entertainment pieces, work in some old Hollywood, work in stories about my artwork. And also we found that because of my man in the street pieces, my Lucille Ball pieces do really well. In fact, the most successful piece I ever did was a story about how Lucy and Desi met at the old RKO studios, which is, of course, now part of Paramount Pictures. And I went there on the Sunday of the 72nd anniversary of the show. Well, people just love that. I mean, it's well over 500 views right now. So we thought, why not? I'll incorporate a Lucy story every week, as long as people want to hear it. I can talk about Lucy backwards, forwards, sideways, and upside down. I've written about Lucy. I was very close with the Lucille Ball historian Bart Andrews, who was the author of the I Love Lucy book. He and I worked together on a sequel to the I Love Lucy book. We were never successful in publishing it. We almost got it picked up by Random House. It came so close to being a book, but it was shot down ultimately by the money people at the publisher. And also we had just issues with politics that I don't know if I can really go into here. But needless to say, the book did not happen. But I have all that research. I have all that knowledge. I have all of that passion. So I thought it'd be a great way to just incorporate that into my own show, tell a Lucy story. So I guess to start off here, SAG-AFTRA. I did a piece last night talking about this, but it's contract negotiations resumed yesterday, and it was for the first time in 2 weeks after a big breakdown. They were getting nowhere. Actors are still fighting for residuals for streaming. And if you're not aware of this, the last time the actors had a major strike was in 2007. Streaming did not even exist at that time. This was a time when actors made most of their money from residuals from network television and from cable TV. Well, those are diminishing now in favor of streaming services, but the residual system has not caught up with that. Like a network television show in the old days used to be at least 22, 24 episodes. Now a series can be on average 10 episodes. Some are as short as 6. So there's a big discrepancy right there. Plus the pay scale has never been established. Producers are making a ton of money. Actors are not. So this is being fought. The other issue is AI, artificial intelligence, because right now an actor can be hired for one day, come into the studio, have a head-to-toe digital scan done of them, and then that digital scan can be manipulated for hundreds and hundreds of hours of entertainment. It can play into perpetuity, and that actor only got paid for that one day of work. So, I'm very much in agreement with him. This has to be addressed. It has to be fought. And we don't know how long it's going to go because, the writers, the WGA, they struck an incredible deal. And I think the high hope was that was going to be the template for the actors. And this was all going to sail through. Well, no, it's not. So we may not be seeing any new television programming for quite a while, certainly no new movies. Actors are still being restricted from their appearances on talk shows. They cannot in any way promote the studios. You may have seen my piece I did about how SAG even issued a thing about how Halloween costumes have to be kept in check. In other words, no Halloween costumes based on movie characters like Batman, Superman, Toy Story, Barbie. And some actors have even mocked that, like Ryan Reynolds, who said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna chide my 8-year-old daughter dressed as Barbie. I'm gonna go, you're a scab. So that's what's happening right now." And of course, this is going to segue into my Lucy and Desi story today, because current news, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, that's been going on. She said that she never liked any of Will Smith's movies. And she said that Tupac Shakur, the rapper, was her true soulmate. And to just get in the mood to make love to her husband, she had to watch his movie Juice. And Will responded saying, well, their marriage was a sloppy public experiment in unconditional love. Very classy on both parts, huh? And then it was in the news just recently. I saw this on Facebook that Meryl Streep and her husband Don Gummer have been separated for 6 years now, and they've kept this secret. So that's going on in current day with couples. But I thought, what a great way to segue into a story about one of our most beloved Hollywood couples of all time, Lucy and Desi. I don't know if you can see this behind me. This is my painting. I'm trying to move this because my image is reversed. That's a painting I did of Lucy and Desi behind me on their wedding day. They got married by eloping, and that's based on a photograph of Lucy and Desi when he had her in his arms and he was carrying her over the threshold of his dressing room of the Roxy Theater in New York, where he was performing at the time. But it's a marvelous story. Of course, I mentioned I put a video up about how Lucy and Desi met at RKO Studios, and you can watch that. I probably don't need to go into all of that again, but needless to say, Desi Arnaz was originally in the Broadway version of the Rodgers and Hart musical Too Many Girls. Lucille Ball admitted in her autobiography that she had seen the play when she was in New York. She did not meet Desi, but she saw him from the audience and she was electrified. And she said, that man has got star quality and charisma. And she wanted to go to La Conga, the nightclub where he performed. Desi Arnaz introduced the conga dance to America from Cuba. She wanted to go there. Went there, and to her tremendous disappointment, it was Desi's night off, so she did not get to meet him that night. They were fated to meet at RKO Studios because Lucy was going to star in the movie version of Too Many Girls. They brought Desi Arnaz out to Hollywood to recreate his role, and they met before they were going to have their rehearsal that day. They were going to have a music rehearsal. Lucy was filming the movie Dance Girl Dance with Maureen O'Hara. And it was the day they had this big raucous fight scene where they had to tear each other's clothes and hair and punch each other and roll on the floor. And Lucy, the makeup artist, put a black eye on her, but she looked like a hot mess. Her hair was all disheveled. She had a black eye. Her makeup was all askew. She was ripped up. And Desi met her that way, and he turned to somebody and said, that's the ingenue for our movie. He was, needless to say, he was not impressed. Lucy looked like trash in that moment. But later in the day, Lucy got cleaned up. She was wearing a beautiful tight yellow sweater. Her then blonde hair, her reddish blonde hair, was pulled back. She looked gorgeous, as we know Lucy looked when she was really together. And Desi, his eyes practically popped out of his head. There were witnesses who saw this, and he said, what a hunk of woman. And everybody present noticed this. They were very aware of the magnetism. People like Ann Miller, Van Johnson, other cast members. It's absolutely true. It was instant magnetism. Everybody felt it in the room. There was like an electric charge. Desi approached Lucy with, do you know how to rumba, Lucille? And he wanted to take her out dancing that night. And of course, she accepted the invitation. They went out to a nightclub. And according to Lucy and Desi, they both wrote autobiographies. So it's fun to read the concurrent stories. They sat at a table and just talked and talked and talked. And I read in Lucy's autobiography, she said, I'm just going to admit it. I was in love in 5 minutes. Uh, I think few of us would question that those two were soulmates. They recognized it right from the start. They just found they had so many things in common, basic things. They both knew what it was to lose everything in your life. You know, these are things I'll have to talk about in future stories. Lucy and her family lost their home in a tragic lawsuit in the late 20s. The family was all split up. I promise I'll tell that story another time. Desi he grew up a wealthy playboy in Cuba, very privileged, had his own yacht, ponies, family had a mansion. The 1933 communist revolution came. I mean, their homes were burned to the ground. They were forced to flee. Desi came to America penniless. He and his father had to live in a rat-infested warehouse. So Lucy and Desi knew what it meant to lose everything and to have your family separated. They understood that. They innately got each other, and the soul connection was just electric. But they had problems right from the start because Lucy was based in Hollywood. Desi had just signed a contract with RKO, but it gave him a leeway where he had 6 months a year where he could travel with his band around the country. So that meant his being on the road, which was a big problem throughout the first decade of their marriage, hence why they did I Love Lucy, so it could just be home and be together in one place. So they were separated constantly. Most of their relationship, those first few months, was very, very expensive long distance phone calls. Lucy claimed it was hundreds and hundreds of telegrams back and forth, letters every day. And when they were together, the passion was undeniable, the love was undeniable. But Lucy was a realist. Desi was the idealist, the dreamer. He could be very impractical. She was everything about practicality. So she questioned a lot of things. You know, she worried about the fact that she was 6 years older than him, the fact that he was so impetuous, the fact that he was going to be on the road all the time. She just didn't see any future for them. And it was one night they were in New York. You know, she was there doing publicity. He was there doing his nightclub show. And they were at, I think it was El Morocco nightclub. I hope I got that correct. And a photographer even took a picture of them. It's in Lucy's autobiography where they're both just looking very stern and very serious. And Lucy said they were just talking about all the reasons why they could never, ever be married and they needed to break up. And so they did. Lucy went back on the road because she was on a studio tour. So she had to go to the Midwest. I think she had to go to Milwaukee. And she said it was while she was on the train. She received a telegram. And I'm paraphrasing this a bit, but it was just saying, it was from Desi, of course, saying, "My darling, I love you." Let me say that again. I love you. Let me say it again. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Lucy said she started crying so hard that telegram practically turned to pulp in her hands. It was so wet with her tears. And anyway, from there, she had to go back to New York because it was now November. They got together for Thanksgiving. And she had to do publicity for Too Many Girls, which was about to be released. I'm assuming Desi did also, but she was the official star of the movie. And she was in her hotel room. Desi was sitting there on the couch, and Lucy was giving an interview to a fan magazine called Why I Will Always Be a Bachelor Girl. Basically saying she was not going to ever marry Desi Arnaz. She gave the whole interview. The reporter left. Desi came and said, "Well, honey, I'm making a liar out of you. We're getting married tomorrow." And she's like, "What?" "Yes, we're eloping tomorrow. I made the arrangements. Be ready at 8 in the morning." And Lucy melted and she said, "Yes." And, and she lamented the fact she didn't have any nice clothes with her. All she had with her, I don't know if you can see in the painting, you probably can't. All she had was a black wool dress and this fur coat. Let me see if you can see a little bit, the fur coat that she had saved up to buy. She said that was the first ever fur coat she'd owned in her life. It was a fox fur. That's all she had to get married in because none of her steamer trunks and luggage had arrived. So she was even fearful that was bad luck getting married in black. But nonetheless, it was a Saturday morning. She was ready at 8 in the morning, and they drove to Greenwich, Connecticut. And they realized they had forgotten to get a wedding ring. And all the jewelry stores were closed. So Desi had to go to a Woolworths department store and buy Lucy a cheap brass band. That was Lucy's wedding ring, a dime store brass band. But Lucy did not complain. She was thrilled. She loved it. They got to the judge's office, and the judge said, I need to take you to a better place to marry you. And so the judge got them in his car and drove them to a nearby country club called the Byram River Beagle Club. And there was snow on the ground. Lucy said it looked like something out of a Currier and Ives painting. There was a big roaring fireplace, big window, picture window with snow on the ground on the trees. And that's how Lucy and Desi got married, in front of that roaring fireplace with the snow on the ground. They had a wedding breakfast. And then they remembered, well, they had to get back to New York because Desi had a show to do that night at the Roxy Theater. So they had to just get right back in the car. The wedding license still exists. There are pictures of it, and it's got lipstick prints all over it. And Lucy admitted in her autobiography that she was kissing the license all the way back in the car. And that's why there are lipstick prints all over it. And they heard their wedding announced on the radio. And I think some of Lucy's relatives found out about it because it was announced on the radio. There's a cute little story. I was once in the house on Ogden Drive here in West Hollywood where her family lived, her grandfather, her mother, her cousin Cleo, and her brother Fred. And they got a phone call from Lucy. And when I was in there, I told the owner, when we were sitting in the living room, we're sitting in the room where the family got notified by Lucy and Desi they were just married. That's just a little personal story I have. So anyway, they make it back. They actually didn't make it back in time. They were late. They had some poor MC had to stall the audience forever and ever. But when they told the audience that Desi was late because he had just gotten married to film actress Lucille Ball, everybody was just cheering and happy and festive, and nobody was angry. I don't know how late they were, but Desi went backstage, changed into his tuxedo, slapped makeup on, went out there, did his conga show and everything. And then, as you can see, in front of photographers, he carried his bride over the threshold into his dressing room. And that is the story of how Lucy and Desi began their marriage. Their very tumultuous marriage, lots of ups and downs, but two soulmates. And that day, which was November 30th, 1940, is where it all started. And those two people have literally changed the world. Literally. When you look at how I Love Lucy has played to 78 countries, and it's been on the air, never off the air in 72 years. That's a fact. And it has played to over 3 billion people. There's no denying. They have changed the world. So anyway, that's my little Lucy story. I don't know if anybody heard it out there. I don't know how many people we have. I'm looking here. I think we have, maybe 4 people watching at the moment. But at least we're being recorded and we can play this later. Let's see here. I was going to maybe do some readings with oracle cards, but I don't have any questions here. Unless... Debbie, would you like to throw me a question, or should we just make this a short show today, or do you have any suggestions for me? Got my cards here, and I don't think Debbie hears me. Would anybody... Oh, okay, I see. There we go. I just got a comment. How will my new business do? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm working with Sonia Choquette's Ask Your Guide cards, but I'm going to do this in a bit of a more personal and unconventional way. I'm not going to follow the book. I'm just going to pull 2 or 3 cards, and I'm just setting my iPad down there. I'm going to just use my intuition and see what I get from this. So let me just shuffle these up real quick here, and we're going to pull Let's see, what do I get here? Okay. Debbie, first card I got was intuition, the intuition card, inner child intuition. Well, working with you already for 3 months, I know that you're very level-headed, you're very practical, but you're also extremely intuitive. You consult with your guides, you go with your gut feeling. This is one of the things I love about you, and it's why you and I connect so well. It's why Dr. Whimsy and I work so well together. We're big believers in intuition. I know many of our audience members are intuition believers. So I think this is saying right off the bat, you have based your business plan in intuition, and you use your intuition to guide that, which to me is only positive. The other card here I pulled is discipline, master teacher, which I think these two cards sum you up. You listen to your guidance, your intuition, but you are extremely disciplined. You're very organized. These are qualities that I tend not to be. Mr. Artist, Mr. Artist, I tend to be more abstract. And so I need people like you with discipline to give me discipline. And I'm sure this is true also with all of your clients. I don't want to say all your clients, I don't want to generalize, but I'm sure with each one of us, you're having to find a discipline for each of us, find what works for us. And of course, you're using your intuition. So let's pull a new card. And this was the third one, new life, divine mother, which you are like a divine mother, a new life. This is a new life for you. It's certainly a new life for me. Your other clients, I don't know if you want me to name them. I know a few of them, such as Tawny and Joyce. This is a brand new life for us. Fabulous new beginnings, things that are unexpected for us. But it's a wonderful journey. What I'm doing right now, doing this live show, is part of that new life that you have brought me to. This is something I frankly would not have done on my own initiative. I needed you to kick my butt and say, you're going to go on live at Wednesday. I got this one, balance. Now, I sometimes wonder if this doesn't apply to me, because you've been reminding me of this, about finding balance, such as the 40 minutes before we went on the air, when I was frankly freaking out. Oh my God, what are we going to do? What do you mean? What button do I press here? If I press this button, is this going to set off the nuclear missiles from the silo or something? It was crazy. And this is a reminder of balance, perhaps for you, because I know how hard you work, Debbie. You push yourself relentlessly. Maybe this is a reminder for you to find balance, for you to teach us individually to find our balance. So that came up. Shall I pull another? Let's see, what do we get here?
Why not?
Why not? What are we getting here? Bravado. Warrior guides. Bravado. This is great. I think, well, to me, you have bravado. But you have to maybe teach us, your clients, to find our inner bravado, such as what I'm doing right now. This takes bravado. I don't always see that for myself. I've made the comment to you, and I've said this to others, I tend to see myself as a shy person. And I think you more or less said, bullshit, you're not shy. But that's how I tend to see myself. I need people to sometimes help me to find my own bravado. And I think other clients of yours are going to need that as well. You probably want a conclusion here. Let's see. I'm trying to, well, family. Now, don't you think that's a good card? Because you have said to me that you want to create, I don't know if you've used the actual word family, but you want us all to be integrated together. You want our shows to integrate. You want us to all interrelate with each other. And it's very much like a family. So I see that that's something you are definitely creating, a family with this venture of yours, and the venture for each of us as you're teaching us to have our own business here, our own business model. I just pulled another.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I pulled one more. Judgment, higher self. I get that. Judgment just means discernment for all of us. And but the thing that hit me more from this was higher self. We all have to listen to our higher self. It's just like me when I was doing this show. I made a rough outline of things I was going to do, but I didn't plan out a script or anything. Like with Lucy, I just knew I could just open my mind and my heart up and start talking.
Sure.
So I think that all comes from higher self, and I think that's what's going to come from that. So does that answer your question about your business, or do you think I should go further with it?
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question for me? I'm not seeing any comments here. I don't know if we have anybody out there right now. Debbie, I just see you type the comment. Anyone here? I guess we're hearing crickets out there. You said to me, Debbie, this is going to be a practice show. This is just a chance to make my mistakes in front of everybody. And of course, this is being recorded and it's going to be played into perpetuity. So people are going to see my mistakes. They're going to see me with my pants down. They're going to see me like, less than confident and together. But I know the more I do this, the better I'm going to be at this. And I already know from doing Dr. Whimsy's show, I know from doing the Man in the Street videos, that I just love this. And I feel very much at home doing this. I've been trying to pursue a freelance art career for quite a while, and I'm certainly not giving that up by any means, but I was starting to burn out a little because freelance art is like trying to pursue acting, music, any kind of show business, entertainment field related thing. It's hard. And I will have periods where I do very, very well. I'll get a really great assignment. One of my assignments, I have 4 of my paintings hanging on the wall of Lucille Ball's childhood home in Jamestown, New York. Well, specifically Celeron, New York, which is adjacent to Jamestown, but that's where Lucy grew up. That's my pride and joy. That was one of the biggest assignments of my life. I have artwork in James Dean's hometown, just featured just feet from where James Dean was photographed. So I've had big things like that, and then I've had months where there's no business at all, and I'm watching the savings deplete, and it gets frightening as hell. And I was getting a little too on edge living like that, just depending on art. So I needed, shall we say, some new strings in my bow. I needed to try something else. And thanks to my dear friends Whimsy and Debbie, that's exactly what I'm doing. We're pursuing a lot of new avenues here. And I found this much more than I thought, and it's enriching my life. And yes, I'm taking a little bit of break from doing art right now. I'm not, no means giving it up, but I'm slowing down just a little bit to do this, and I will get back. And again, this wonderful card here, what was it? Balance. That's what I'm striving to find right now in my own life, balance. But hey, we're works in progress. There are times where it's confusing as hell. But I saw a quote the other day, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it was about how we're supposed to be in a state of confusion. This is a normal state of living, and it's a very good positive thing, because confusion makes us search for answers. It helps us to find our center, our authentic self, when it feels like there's all this swirling chaos around us. It's about being centered in our own truth, our own authenticity. And I believe confusion is good for that. And confusion also, for want of a better way of saying it, forces us to utilize our faith, to be in our faith. And ultimately, that's how this really works. This is all about acts of faith. Doing this show right now is an act of faith. Giving up my
perfect way
job.
Perfect way to end, Chuck.
Yeah. Okay, are we ending right now? Okay, Debbie. So anyway,
it's all up to you.
Joy and purpose. Okay, well then I thank you all very much for watching this very first show. I promise it's going to get much better as we go. But you for all the love and support. Okay, goodbye. Okay, now how do we get out of here, Debbie?